Hey guys, hope everyone is doing well. So one of the candidate was attended interview with vulnerability management with the 10 plus years of experience. In that interview, what are the questions they asked? I will explain now. So hope you are able to see my screen. So these are all the interview questions. I think it took approximate 30 to 45 minutes, not even 30 to 40 minutes, 25 to 35 minutes for this interview. So let's go and discuss about those interview questions are. First one is explain about your roles and responsibilities. So whatever roles and responsibilities we discussed in the class, or whatever you are working on the roles and responsibilities related to vulnerability management. So you have to go and you have to explain about this particular roles and responsibilities. So whenever you're explaining, you can explain about both as per the job description. Please go through the job description, and according to the job description, it's better to explain about whether they are looking into the only infrastructure related to servers or databases or cloud environment, or else even in the network side also. So that's why I said several times in the class also, it's better to explain based on the JD. Okay. So this particular vacancy, I think based on questions whatever they asked, they are looking into both the infrastructure on-premise servers and also into the cloud environment. So second question is how can you prioritize the vulnerabilities if you have 20 vulnerabilities? So if you have 20 vulnerabilities list, how can you prioritize that one? So based on what parameter? So this is based on the, already vendor severity, based on the CVSS score, based on the severity of the respective uh, vulnerability. So different people will say different opinion, but as per our class discussion, we discussed about based on the vendor severity. Once again, under that one, confidentiality, integrity, availability, and the attack vector, attack complexity, information disclosure, network scope, how the attacker is penetrating into the organization side. So those things we discussed. So better you can give the whatever process you are following. So for example, maybe couple of multinational companies they will follow like based on the CVSS score. So couple of companies or organization they will follow based on the vendor severity. So couple of companies they will follow based on the manual analysis. So but as per my opinion, I'm saying it's based on the vendor severity. And describe your experience with vulnerability scanning and remediation Linux environment. So nothing but if you have the Linux servers are there in the organization side, how can you do the scanning, and also how can you take care of the remediation also? Nothing but patch management. So patch management, if you are doing, then you can say if you are doing on that one. But if you are not, if you don't have an experience on the Linux environment, just you can say we are escalating to Linux team or Unix team. How have you handled the identification resolution of the critical vulnerabilities? Whenever any critical vulnerabilities occurred, so how can you handle the starting from the scan till the closure of the or respective vulnerability? You have to take one of the scenario, take any one of the scenario. So take example of vulnerability name and the vulnerability description and which server is scanned, and finally how you identified the vulnerability, and how you have scanned it, and how you have done the manual analysis, how you have done the escalating to the Windows or Unix team, and how you fix that particular vulnerability. So you have to explain about total overall end-to-end, overall end-to-end process. Along with that one, you have to take on practical scenario. Your experience here, basically, they are expecting from you. What is your experience with configuring and managing vulnerabilities in cloud environment and Kubernetes? So how can you configure the any tool? It's implementation oriented. That may be Tenable IO Cloud, or maybe Qualys or Rapid7 or Nexpose tool. How can you configure in the Amazon Web Services or GCP or Azure? Otherwise, how can you go and you can configure the vendor specific BYO or bringer or license related scanners in the cloud environment, or maybe so directly every cloud vendor also will support to they have their own scanner. So how you are configuring and also managing what about the scan in the cloud environment and Kubernetes. So the Kubernetes mainly for the Dockers and containers. So they are expecting that one, and for virtual machines or EC2 instances, they are expecting about as well as vulnerability scanner configuration. So they need both. For one is the Docker per container, that is part of the Kubernetes, and second one is for the virtual machines or EC2 instances in case if it is AWS environment. And if it is virtual machines, GCP and Azure as well. how have you integrate vulnerability scanning in the development lifecycle? So development lifecycle, there are DevOps basically. So in the CI/CD pipeline. So in the CI/CD pipeline, they are expect this is on the OS level scan. Whatever previous question it is there, that is a part of the OS level scan. But this one they are expecting about the running scan. Running scan here. Uh, how did you integrate vulnerability scanning in the development life cycles in the part of the CI/CD pipeline? See, OS level, whatever libraries and packages we are using, it's a fixed component. It will not change. But here in the development lifecycle part of the CI/CD pipeline, running configuration also. So, for example, we can use Twistlock is one of the very famous tool, or cloud security posture management tool like a Palo Alto, uh, XOR. In the similar way, Palo Alto CSPM tool and Azure CSPM tool and Wiz CSPM tool and Amazon CSPM tool. There are so many tools are available. So running configuration, basically they're expecting about part of the CI/CD pipeline. In the image, if there any vulnerability, if there any vulnerabilities are existing, how can you integrate that scanning to the development lifecycle? That's what their expectation. So development means don't think like you're a developer. So how do you ensure that security vulnerabilities contain-based applications and cloud environments are identified and remediated quickly? So they are expecting about container applications, mainly Microservice-based applications and cloud environments are identified and remediated. So Microservice-based applications in the Docker and container side and also in the cloud environment, how can you identify the security vulnerabilities and also how can you remediate quickly? So same thing based on the whatever scanning we are doing. So do the prioritizing of the vulnerabilities and do the manual analysis and follow the vendor severity and finally fix those vulnerabilities contacting by respect to Windows or Unix team or middleware team according to the whoever is the business owner, asset owner, and finally can fix those vulnerabilities and after the fix is completed, rerun the scans, rerun the scans and finally ask them to write change request and implement the production environment. So this is the way how we can do. It's a normal VM process only, but by seeing the containerized applications and cloud environment, don't get I mean weed or don't get afraid or intimidated. Can you provide an example of vulnerability you addressed in the cloud Kubernetes environment? So nothing but they are expecting about Docker and container side. Did you identify any vulnerabilities in the Kubernetes clusters or Kubernetes parts? Then how did you address that one? So this is practical scenario based. At least you have to know about container and Docker based or Kubernetes based one of the vulnerability and how can you fix that one? It's a practical scenario based. So they're expecting your experience. What are the tools methods you have used to track and report vulnerability remediation efforts across global teams? So across, if we have the more than one organization and also more than it's like a distributed environment and like headquarters and also remote branch offices and multiple people sitting all over the worldwide. In that scenario, global teams, how did you approach? So they're expecting about do you have the international exposure or not, and what is the remediation efforts you have taken to fix those issues? Can you fix zero day vulnerabilities? How did you fix zero day vulnerabilities? Whenever any zero day vulnerabilities, it is there in the news. I think these are all the entire questions, guys. You will feel it is a little bit complicated. No, 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 it is not at all complicated. But here only additional thing is you should know about those couple of terminology because couple of things they are expecting about development life cycle. Don't get afraid by seeing this question in the similar way. Containerized applications don't think like it's application based vulnerabilities. It's not like that. So, but if you have any questions, you can ask back. That's what. So, if you don't know about the question and what is the expectation from that side, ask back. What is the expectation from the what is the expectations from the interview and what is the expectation from the question. So, according to that one, you can respond back. That's all, guys. Thank you so very much. Thanks for watching the video.